How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop. Haven't been in the shop for a little bit, but I've been really busy. I've been in the shop, but been really busy, and I'm glad you're here today. So thank you for watching right off the bat and sticking with the channel. Anyway, today I'm going to do, we're going to unbox and review of an Evolution product. It's a miter saw with a stand. R255SMS-DB plus miter saw. We're gonna check it out. Open the box, and it's snowing outside right now, so my outside projects are a little bit on hold right now. So we're gonna do a review of the saw and check it all out in this video. So you'll see it on some of the jobs I'm doing outside. I'll be building a greenhouse this summer, and the project I'm doing right now with my neighbor, building a roof over the where the sawmill is going to go, over a sea container, and we're kind of held up right now because of the weather. So as soon as that the weather improves and we can get back on that project, we still have to put the roofing on. We still have some carpentry work to do. We still have some wood to cut for it. So we're doing some mods on the sawmill right now. So we'll be using the saw. What I want to say is we'll be using the saw on the project, and you'll see it in action, and we'll talk about it out there on the project also, and so you can see some of the features, but we'll go over all that stuff in this video. So let's open the box and let's check things out. All right, this is the box the saw came in right here. Now, the shipping, this is how it came, with this hole in it right here. I haven't opened this yet, and nothing looks missing. So I'm hoping nothing's missing, and yeah, they're kind of tough on things these days. So guarantee book, probably in several languages maybe. Now, I do not know exactly where it's made. They shipped it from the U.S. I thought it was made actually over in Europe somewhere. I'm not positive where this is necessarily made. Other addresses are the UK and Iowa and France and Australia. Here's a full layout. That's actually a blade sheath there. Now supposedly you can also run a metal cutting blade on it, but it's also wood cutting. So I don't know if they sent a metal blade though with it, but that'd be nice. Work out. This blade here, they say, is for steel, aluminum, wood, and plastic. Sweet. So here's all the parts we have with the blade. This is a 10-inch saw. Steel, aluminum, wood, and plastic cutting blade. Power head right here. The base. A clamp. This is a dust collection bag. Top slide. And vacuum attachment. We'll get the instructions out and check how that goes together. I put it up here on the top of the table saw and such. First thing off, this is the knob for here, the release. Well, it has a quick release on the bottom. That's a good feature. This is probably just a lock, yeah. So you could loosen the lock and then pull the release on the bottom here, which is right down here. I think you can see that. So the release is right here underneath, so you can just pinch it. Works smooth, and then just a quick twist, quarter turn, and it locks it. So we'll just set that straight, square. This is the slide. So in here, this is nice. Now these are linear bearings in here. So these roll like super easy. Just like nothing. That's nice having linear bearings there. Okay, power head. Power head here has two sockets in the back here, right there, and it looks like it just slips on. Slips on and locks. Just boom. Has a little locking mechanism on there. Back here is the lock for the angular adjustment. It's set over here 15 degrees. So we're going to roll it up here to 90. Has a in the back here we have a stop pin and an adjustable stop right here. So you can, as you roll it over, if it's in, it hits here. And it looks like they have it set at 33.9 degrees. So you can pull it, you can go over to 45. And then back here to 0. Now right in here, pointers for their angular adjustment, the rotation this way, the lock in the back, and then you just roll it over to whatever angle. Hard to film that. So you have a pointer here, it says it's 0. Pointer over here says 0 or 45. It's a dual scale, and you can just roll it over. And then we can pull the pin out in the back for the stop to get all the way over to 45. And then lock it back up. 90. On this side of the saw, the right hand side, there's a pin right here on the slide. You pull that, release it so it comes up, down, and then you can lock it down. Especially if you're going to move it around and carry it or something. That's kind of nice to have that feature. You know, lock it down and it pops up. Now on the table right here at the end, there's two screws. There's one, the other end is the same. These come out. They're M4. And then these go in, these little table extensions. Snug those in. One on each side. Now up on top here, what the slide is, there's a knob that came with it. That is a lock, and the one with a spring. And that's so you can lock this in position, you know. There we go. So sliding, locked, loose. There you go. Now on both sides of the saw there's a socket here. Here we'll put loosen that up. This is a clamp so you can hold down the material. There we go. Whoa. Okay, so it's adjustable in height a bit. So we can put it in and then clamp that in. The clamp, you can move it up and down here, but it also has a push button on here, so you can just push it and it releases it. And then you can just tighten it to whatever thickness of the wood. So that's a nice quick adjust feature. And if you just push on it, you can just push it down and then give it a couple turns and you got your wood clamped. My current saw has one of these, but you have to screw and screw and screw. So having the quick adjust is very nice. I went through and assembled this, and I turn around and I see that the name's upside down here. So this handle should be up here on top. Also, the cord clamp, which is over here, should be on the same side as the cord. If you flip it over, it'll be over here. There's a hole on each side, on each each side of this. You can put something in there like a screwdriver or an Allen wrench, one on each side, and you should be able to release that and remove it. And I think you should do it from the front. There, it came off pretty easily. So here on the end is these buttons that lock it onto the power head. Now these are pressed in now. Originally they were out. So if you push this in, pull this out, it will hold the button in. Push it in, pull that out. Now it holds the buttons in, so when you slip the power head back on, it pushes this in, releases the locks. Now there are 2 screws that go in also after you have it all set. And we'll put those in afterwards. So now this will slide right out. We'll flip it over and slip it right back in again. Then we can pull it forward. We'll cinch that down. It hardly takes any force at all to cinch that, by the way. Now we'll slip the power head back on. And it locks in place. Good to go. Up underneath here, there's a screw hole right by where the lock release is that these screws go into. And you don't have to cinch them super tight, but just cinch them in. One on each side. You have a cord clamp piece, so you take the cord and you can just put it up here, goes in here, slips on there. They show it facing backwards, so okay, we'll clamp it backwards. And then the other hole, there's a pin and a hole for a screw. So now these are all what, M4 or 4mm Allen head. Now this all moves together, so you can keep it fairly straight. Actually, that doesn't clamp it doesn't tight. It's just kind of a guide. Perfect. Running out of parts. Vacuum attachment here. If you're looking to need a vacuum, you slip that in, and it's angled so you can kind of attach a hose there. They also have this dust bag, right here, that has a little spring clip that you just pinch. Right here, a little pinchy spring that clips over the swelled up edge on here. There we go. Let me just slip that on. Have a dust bag on there. Not very big, but it has a zipper on the dust bag, so it's easy to empty on the bottom there. So one thing I do want to say is make sure you read the instructions. I mean, I was going by the little sheet here, just so you know, and this is fine for the basic assembly, okay? The instruction manual is actually quite good. I've gone through it. Lots of good pictures. They show the proper handle thing on the back, which position it goes in, and all that. But very good, very detailed pictures. Very good, and very good explanations. I've read through the instructions here, and there's a whole setup instructions and all that. Now, one thing I must say, that if you are carrying this operation out in the North American people must be especially stupid, because on every instruction almost, they tell you that if you're in North America, on North American models only, carry out this operation with the machine disconnected from the main supply. So that means unplug it. Just for you folks in North America. Right? We're a little more stupid than everybody else. Of course, in non-North American models, you should also do the same thing.
disconnect and carry out this operation machine disconnected from the main supply. So I'm not sure why we have to say that in the manuals, because you're either in North America or you're not in North America. So anyway, just a note. But the instructions are very good on putting it together and operation and all that. It's very good. All right, now we're going to put the blade on. Now up here, there's 2 screws. It has a whole list of the tools you need. You don't need very many tools to put this together. Here, let me drop everything. Little blade guard. This tool here, this is the Allen wrench. It's stored on the base of the machine, so you have it with you. It's pretty nice. Right on the back here. There's a button on this side. On the opposite side here of the blade, you can push in to lock the arbor. Now this is a left-hand thread, so lefty loosey doesn't work. So it's righty loosey. Turn it to the right. Left-hand thread. Loosen it. Now this is pretty cool. They could. It seems most European stuff, as far as blades go, they're 25.4 or 1-inch arbors, like this blade that they gave me. This is a 1-inch hole, 25.4 millimeters. But the flange, one side says 1 inch, the other side says 5/8. So you can put 5/8 saw blades on here. Now again, make sure it goes in the right direction. They have an arrow pointing to the direction of rotation. The blades should all point in that direction. The cutting edge should be going that way. So before you start, lock your slide. Make sure your flange is in the right direction. Get your blade facing in the right direction. Slip it up in there. Washer, turn it to the left or counterclockwise. Turn it to the left, counterclockwise. Now, there's an arrow here that points in the direction of rotation. The cutting teeth should be going in that direction to cut. Push the arbor lock button in over there to hold it tight. Give it a good cinch. Release the arbor lock. Make sure you can turn this freely so the arbor lock's not locking it. Provided this has a slot, all you gotta do is release the one screw, it looks like. So it just slides up, rolls up. So we'll put the other screw in there, and then this just rolls right up in there. So you don't have to take both screws out. You don't have to take any screws out, really. Cinch them up. It's all good. All right, it's plugged in. Let's see if it runs. Nice and smooth, not too loud even. That's pretty nice. Now this is a belt-driven unit. The motor's back here. There's a belt in here. Instructions cover changing the belt, tensioning the belt, and all that. I did not even look at it. But you take the cover off, obviously, and do that. It's all in the instruction manual. I'm not going to cover that, but it is able to do that. It also has a laser. Here it has a right here on the thumb switch for the laser, on and off. Just a slide switch. Turn it on. I don't know, can you see that? There's a laser right there. And there's instructions about adjusting it. There's a couple screws up under here where the laser is, and you can adjust for a proper cut or alignment with your cut. Alright, this is the stand box.
Alright, this is what we got for parts. A couple of rollers, the instructions, locks, knobs and bolts and stuff, hardware. And parts. So let's get her set up. Push the buttons, slide, folds right out. We're going to have to stand it up. Solid. Solid enough. These are the roller, end roller fixtures. So we got to put some knobs in. And let's see here. They slip on so that the roller goes down, right? Like that. Then there's a knob that goes in here for locking it. Then there's these. These lock on here. Front first, stamp down, cam over. Front first, cam down, lock over, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to leave them on here. I'm going to set the saw on here and bolt them together. Bolt these to the saw. On the bottom of the saw, before you mount it on the stand, there are rubber feet on the bottom of the saw. These, you can just pry them out with a screwdriver. You need to remove these. See, they just come right out. And save those for later, right? When you might want to just set this on a table or something. Now I'm using the longer bolts of the two sizes they give you, and it makes it a little easier. They're a little bit short to get everything on there because you need to put a washer, and I'm putting the lock washer on and then the wing nut. Now they have a hex in here in the base. I suppose you could put a nut in it and then just run a bolt up and tighten it up that way. Well, we'll use what they gave us here. They gave me nuts, but using the carriage bolt fits right up in the slot, the square part of the carriage bolt. So really, that's a pretty good way to do it. So just using these. I'm going to adjust the rollers now. The roller height should be basically flush with the table. I just put in the levels as a straight edge. There we go. So now you can be all set up for a longer board on there. We got it plugged in. The laser is on, and I've got it tightened up. Now,
just feeling the balance of it. I don't want it to tip over backwards. So I put the saw basically all the way forward. The clamping pressure was just fine. I don't have to adjust it. I'm happy with that. It's nice and tight. These are snugged up and the legs are deployed and locked. And it feels pretty good. I don't have to worry about it falling over, because if I put a board on, the board is in line with the table, the legs, so that would be just fine. So here's a piece of scrap wood. I'm going to go over the features of the saw, which this thing has all the features, it seems like. Has a lot of good features. So in the back here, whoops. So this is the left side of the saw. Down here is where the wrench is. It just slips in, nice little rubber grommet, and locks in. That's for the blade, and maybe some of the other screws actually. We'll test it out. So it's 4 millimeters, so it does these other screws that are all 4 millimeters and stuff down in here. So you have pretty much the tool you need is with the saw. Right here is the socket for the vertical clamp. There is a horizontal clamp. You could probably buy it separately, but it does not come with the North American models. And that's what this is, a North American model. It has a feature here. This is a depth stop. You can adjust that for depth of cut in case you're not wanting to go, you know, if you only want to go halfway through the board or something, if you're just cutting out a mortise or something like that, you could control the depth. And you can flip the stop part up out of the way, so you can have it set for something and still cut full depth, and then flip it down and cut a certain depth. So that's a pretty nice little feature. The angle on the angle on the table goes clear to 50 degrees each way. So that's nice. It passed the 45 mark. That's a nice feature. It does have a lock up high here for the sliding portion of it. You can lock that in position, so you can go to the same spot each time, or I mean, be in the same spot each time you're cut. Down here is a 0 knob. So you could always return to 90 degrees. The back here is the lock for the angle, flipping the angle. Now you can push that in, or I mean, pull it out, I should say, if you want to go to that side there, all the way over, and come back up here. Then it drops into like a slot, and then you can push it up against 90 degrees. So you always have your 90 degrees point. Down here are adjustments, one on each side, for that 90 degree locking point right here. These pointers are also adjustable, loosening these screws here for your zeros, or for your 0 point angle point in each direction, I should say. It's kind of hard to explain that, but so when you're you can go, because you can go each way with it. Now also down here there's this pins. If you have the pins pushed in, it goes to 33 and 33.9 or something degrees, and that's adjustable here. I guess for crown molding, I think that's the angle you're going to cut for. So you can adjust here and adjust that if it's not right. But otherwise, you can pull these back and you can go all the way over to 45 degrees. Like I said, there's one on each side because this saw could tilt each way 45 degrees. So that's pretty nice. And then the lock. I showed you it has a laser, and that's all adjustable also. Everything's adjustable. Now, this is the right-hand side of the saw over here. And we have a lock here. You pin, you push it, and it holds the power head down. Pull it, it comes up. Right here is the button for the arbor lock when you're doing the blade. So you can lock the arbor and loosen and tighten the blade. This is the vertical clamp. So this knob here, you can release it or adjust the height of it. It comes in and out. Now the back one though, you release this and this top part of the fence slides. So you can adjust where you want the top part of your fence to be. Now this whole fence can be removed or slid. There's Allen head screws. There's Allen head screws down in here. 1, 2 of those. And then you can, on each side, and you can adjust the angle of this to make sure you're cutting square. And then these, like I said, these both sides will slide in and out, and then you can lock them. So when you're tilting over, you have a nice backstop, and don't run your blade into them. And this is the clamp for clamping things down. Like I said, you push this button, pull it up, and you can clamp onto something, or you can just push it down and clamp onto something that way. Very, very nice, handy way to do it. Nice, fast. Like I said here, the quick release on the swinging of the table angle, and it's 50 degrees each way, which is really nice. Then it's got certain lock points, right? So 0, there's a notch. 15, 22 and a half, 31.6, 45. So you have a bunch of already built-in notches and stops there, and then a lock, and turning the handle down here to lock it. Everything else seems to be tight. Nothing's in the way from us trying to cut. Let's do a cut. Now, like I said, it starts a little different than a lot of saws. It takes a second to get going. Cut just wonderful. Just now that's a pretty. It's not a like super fine finish cut type blade, but for general carpentry, that blade is fine. That's just perfect for general carpentry work. You can see the blade. I don't know if you can see the laser or not, but there is a laser. And I'll just do a little test cut, and it's right on that edge of the blade. Important to know what edge of the blade. It should be on the edge of the blade, not in the middle of the blade. So that's important to know. Cuts just perfect. Now I did not go through. I'm not going to in this video show you all the setup stuff as far as making sure it's all calibrated and square. Yeah, but I will check it. We'll do a cut. And we'll check it. It needs a tiny bit of adjustment. Now I'm just using a speed square, but this is pretty good speed square, so it's pretty close. But I'll have to do a little tweak to it. No big deal. Let's see. We'll cut a compound miter with it. We'll go to the 31 and 31 or 33. Make sure we're all good. Oh yeah, right on the laser line. That is perfect. Nice. Now that cut was actually really smooth. You know, going slower, it always helps. Beautiful. We'll just cut it. Very nice cut. Well, you guys, thanks for watching. First off, thanks to Evolution for sending me the saw and the stand set up. This is very nice. It works really well.
It seems to cut quite nicely. And I've built a lot of stuff. I've built a lot of houses. And this here is a nice accurate saw. I'd have no problem using it. We'll be using it on the projects I have, with the greenhouse project coming up, and the building the roof over the container project that we're working on. And we'll have it in action over there, and we'll do some cuts with it, some bigger stuff, obviously, than I can do right here in the shop. And we'll be sure to film some of that action using the saw, and I think it will perform very nicely, actually. It's solid. It's solid. It's a good saw. Good saw. I mean, I've been using the one I have now is a Makita one, and I've been using that one for 30 years almost. So I think this one would probably last just as long, the way it seems. But it does even more. My other one is just a regular miter saw. It's a compound, but it's not as versatile as this one. This one can cut bigger angles, and so as far as that goes, and it cuts both directions as far as the swing goes, which is nice. So and I'm going to like this saw a lot. It's very nice. So, and we didn't get any metal cutting in, but I will shoot some stuff with cutting some metal here when I can do it kind of outside. Metal chips go everywhere, and I'd rather try that outside. But I'm sure it will perform just fine. So yeah, I give this saw a nice thumbs up. It has a lot of nice features, like the depth of cut. That's not on all saws. So that's a nice one. So thank you guys. Check out this. There will be a link in the description below. And just so you know, I did not buy the saw. Evolution gave it to me. So to do a video and give an honest opinion. And I never do anything but honest opinions. So I would not hesitate at all to buy this saw. It's well made. Well made. And it operates great. So there is a link below. And it's an affiliate type link with Evolution, and a discount code also down below in the description. So use the discount code, use the link, and yeah, I might get a couple bucks out of it. Please check them out, and if you're interested in a saw, especially for the spring projects, and you can get something done. So appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and check the notification bell, all that good stuff. Write a comment, what you like, what you didn't like. Maybe I can, show something else or something, but I think I showed all the features and everything. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.